Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's the day. We are watching the two-part season finale for The Bad Batch. I'm torn because I've really enjoyed watching this show, but one, I expected it to be a longer season. I didn't realize there was only 16 episodes. I didn't want to skip ahead and see how many because then you can read the titles, which I do know the titles of these two now, but I remember wondering at the beginning of the series what happened to Kamino because we never see it in the future. And I feel like I'm going to find out what happens to Kamino and why we don't see it in the future. Um, it makes me like a little sad because, like a lot of the Kaminoans, they seem like decent people. Um, Nalase will probably make it out, but it doesn't look like the Prime Minister will. And again, he wanted Omega destroyed after collecting her DNA. So I'm not too sad about that. But I mean, I still don't think that he meant anything malicious by it. I think it's just his job. But the last thing we saw in the previous episode was Crosshair with Hunter and being happy that he had Hunter, not the whole squad, but just being happy that he at least got one of them because his job was to hunt them down. I I worry because where we have Tech and Echo, they are definitely their own individual clone. But you haven't seen as much character development out of those two. A little bit with Echo in the last one, but definitely with Hunter and the influence that Omega has had on him. Him even asking about Roland Duran and like why she stuck up for him. And her just explaining that like she knows that there's good in him because obviously if Ruby likes him, then there has to be something good in him because we all know that person that like is just like if you're not a dog person or dogs don't like you, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, it's kind of like that. And I think that Hunter, it's hard to say human because I don't know if they're considered humans because they're clones. I don't even know if like Luke Skywalker is a human. I mean, I know he's a Jedi, but like, do we consider them human beings? Because like they're not from Earth. I know that we're Tarian. I think is that what we're called? Earthlings. They're not Earthlings. But okay, so they could be a human race. But she brings a lot of humanity into that group and kind of teaches them lessons while she's learning lessons about life herself. And I feel like Hunter's the one that she's done the biggest job on. That, he's definitely absorbed a lot of that empathy and is kind of seeing things from a different perspective. And she's really talked him into a lot of missions and if it weren't for her, there's a lot of lessons he wouldn't have learned about himself, I don't think. And how heartbreaking was her screams about going back to get Hunter because that's the one, even though it's her brother's, that's like her father. That's who she feels is like her fatherly figure, and Wrecker is her big dumb older brother. I don't I don't want to believe anything bad will happen to Hunter, but we know when it comes to the chips, all bets are off. I'm gonna cry. Oh god, I could just cry. Okay, you can collect yourself. I don't want to believe anything. I don't want to believe anything bad will happen to Hunter, but I know because he doesn't have his chip anymore, they can't manipulate that. But like, what if they gave him a new one? What if they like could correct the defect from them being Clone Force 99? Like what if they fixed those defects? I don't want Hunter to be different. Why am I crying? Okay, stop. Um it's just let's get through the episodes and then I'll cry after, I'm sure. We saw in the last episode that the clones are no longer relevant, that they are being replaced by stormtroopers, and kind of getting those very 1980s helmets. Um, the switch has begun, and it isn't looking great for the clones. And I would have to imagine that the clones that were in charge, especially Gregor teaching the new recruits and them not being clones, that you would almost feel like you're being phased out. And I wonder if other clones will kind of have a little bit of a consciousness of that. Um, I don't know. Because we did see Hauser kind of have a little bit of a consciousness switch. I don't know if Gregor has his chip. I know he doesn't in the future, but I don't know if he has his chip right now, if that was taken out, or maybe they'll get into that. I'm really interested to see because if Gregor's around, then Rex is around, and will Rex save the day? Will more than Rex save the day? Are we getting, you know what? Here's the thing with finales. I don't put it past them to have like people drop in, like little cameos happen, uh, things that are unexpected. I'm not expecting it, but expect the unexpected, right? Just anything goes, anything can happen. Will we get Rex? I want Rex. I just, I don't know. I made mixed reactions. Reaction for episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett when the Mandalorian came back. I got on 2 of his videos, which was really super exciting because like I was just watching it because I always watch it, and then all of a sudden I was on my TV and I was like, whoa, wait a second, this is great. So I actually went back and watched reactors reacting to Order 66 for Clone Wars, and I was sobbing the entire time. And it's like I know it happens every single time, and like I just start crying, and I just like see the tears pouring on Rex's face, and I see Ahsoka's face, and so like when it comes to these finales, like I know that they can be heartbreaking, they can be heart wrenching, they can be delightful, they can give you like little nuggets of little characters. I don't know what to expect. I do know Piano Man 1 in the comments told me that there are different writers for part 1 and part 2, which I thought was really interesting. You'd think the same person would write the whole finale. Um, so hopefully it's cohesive. With that being said, that was a really long intro. I apologize. I get told I talk too much. I love when people say I don't, though. So, anyway, guys, let's get into it. And in the mixed reactions thing, I always had like one like chunk of hair that was like this. So annoying. Hundreds of thousands of people watch that and they saw my funky hair. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Good stuff right there. Yum. Because I know I'm gonna cry. Ooh, where's my Kleenex? Just in case. Red Bull in front, Kleenex in the back. And if Red Bull wants to sponsor me, which I know they don't, but if they wanted to, I'm here for it. Let's do this. Episode 15. If you guys don't see it, Return to Kamino. You don't see it in every opening, but I always do it either a chop chop to the drums or a when it starts. Every single time.
Where are we going?
Yeah, probably Kamino.
Using my comm won't work. They'll know it's a trap. They'll still come for you.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He knows it's gonna happen. Hunter knows too.
Spanner wrench.
Oh, this is taking too long. We have to get back to Darrow and rescue Hunter.
We will. We can't go anywhere until the ship's fixed.
His communication device has just been activated.
What do you mean? Where is he?
Oh, I just got a chill.
Where are the rest of them?
They'll be here.
I questioned the clone's motives with his old squad.
I don't trust any of them.
Interesting. What doesn't she trust? That he wants revenge?
Are you positive about these coordinates?
Yes,
Every platform down there will be swarming with troopers.
not this one. Trust me.
I feel like she's the strategy queen, so we have to trust it.
Where's the rest of the fleet? Oh, Kaz, it's a good thing.
Wrecker, you poor summer child. Dear rainy Kamino child.
There is nothing here.
You have to get lower.
Is it
Lower.
invisible? Is it in the
No,
water?
Be in the water.
It's the only way to activate the platform.
Ah.
Landing was only one problem. How are we going to get into the city?
Just ask Omega.
The tube system.
There you go. Look, y'all, she's in charge now.
Come on.
I absolutely love this. I don't believe we ever saw this in the movies, correct? Did we? It might have been a forgettable part for me. Forgettable?
Nala say, this tunnel leads to her private research lab.
You, alright?
It doesn't matter. Saving Hunter is what matters.
But is Nala Say even on Kamino anymore?
This facility's being decommissioned. You don't seem too concerned.
Why would I be?
Because the Empire will be phasing out clones, Nick.
Yep.
Not the ones that matter.
As we know in the future, that is not true.
A ship was detected entering the system.
It's them.
I'll notify the scouts.
Don't bother. They'll come to us. They don't leave their own behind most of the time.
We didn't have a choice.
And I did.
What's so special about this lab?
It's where I was created.
Oh.
You all were here too.
What do you mean?
Your mutations were enhanced in this room. Experimental Unit 99 began right here. I was there. It was only for a short time before you were sent to be with the other clones.
Found him. His comm is pinging from the central cloning platform.
Oh, God.
Can't you see they're using you? It's that inhibited chip in your head.
Right on schedule. Time to go.
Why did he sigh? Maybe I'm just trying to see any reason as to why Crosshair won't cross Clone Force 99. I feel like it's too much to ask.
You said all the clone troopers were gone? Those are not clone troopers.
The TK trooper.
And no offense to that droid, but I hope he gets sacrificed instead of one of our team members.
Hunter is directly above us.
The training room? That's open ground.
Why we will not be going in through the main
And
entrance
Crosshair
like
will
you'd
already have
expect.
thought of that.
We'll enter through the lift.
He's expecting it. He's expecting you to come up through the lift.
Well, guess you're wrong about that.
Together again. You won't be needing your weapons. See? Following orders isn't so difficult.
Shut up. Ugh.
Where's your little sidekick?
You think we'd bring her here?
Lying was never your strength, Wrecker.
Yeah.
It's the signal. Something went wrong. We have to help them. Focus, AZ. I have an idea.
I bet I have the same idea. They are in the training area.
If I wanted you dead, you would be.
We're loyal to each other, not some empire.
You weren't loyal to me.
That's not true.
And it's why I'm going to give you what you never gave me. A chance.
What? What?
Stop pretending to be something you're not, Hunter. We're not like the Regs. Think of all we could do together.
Why would we trust you?
Stand down.
Negative, Commander.
Not really.
It's time to stop running. Join the Empire, and you will have purpose again.
You really don't get who we are, do you?
Don't become my enemy.
We never were.
Why'd you activate the droids? This was not my doing.
I believe you may have activated a few droids.
Better too much than not enough. Crosshair, crosshair, crosshair! I'm so torn as to what I think about him right now. I don't want him to be part of the Empire. I don't want any of them to be part of the Empire, but like I want Crosshair to stop thinking that way. But you tried killing them. The scar that's on the side of his head, like he tried killing them with an engine. Like that's not join the Empire. That's, oh, I couldn't kill you, so I might as well have you try to join me in this. Like he did try to kill them several times. I'm losing my mind.
Chief Scientist?
Secured. The cloning technology is now firmly under Imperial control.
You may fire when ready.
Ooh, that line. Maybe Crosshair will see how easily the Empire was willing to sacrifice him.
This isn't you. It's your inhibitor chip.
Wrong. I had my chip removed a long time ago.
See, I was worried this was just Crosshair.
This is who I am.
That was my fear the entire time. Not that he didn't have his chip, but that's who he was.
I know I promised you'd never have to come back here.
You did the same for me.
So maybe he has a different chip?
Ricker, grab Crosshair. He's coming with us.
That's that Omega influence right there. Oh my god. See, my fear the entire time, oh god, was maybe they just enhanced who Crosshair was. That's like movie quality. Everything about that. The whole production, everything. Piano Man, you were right. You were right. That was some amazing, amazing writing. I might need a second to recover. Part 2, episode 16. Kamino lost. Oh god. No, 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 no.
I do not wish to alarm you, but if you do not vacate this compartment, you will soon perish, and I will be left here on my own.
Oh, that's what you're worried about. Hey, you're gonna die. Don't leave me.
Get the door open, Tick.
All compromise. I cannot override the protocols from here.
I can.
I love you, Wrecker. Oh god. This animation is gorgeous. Like movie quality.
CT-9904, you survived the aerial bombardment, but are now moments away from drowning.
Oh, AZ is useless. Besides information.
Go under and use your boosters. I'll try to break it free.
Oh, I was holding my breath that whole time. Damn. save little Omega. Where's Crosshair? Oh, there he is.
The Empire opened fire on the city. We weren't gonna leave you behind. If you want to stay here and die, that's your call. Hold on to something!
God. The whole production of this, the music, the animation, the storytelling, every bit of it is just amazing.
Most of the facility must be compromised.
Yeah.
Ironically, our old barracks is one of the few compartments habitable.
Check it out! Our board's still here.
All those missions together, and you threw it away. Soldiers follow orders.
Blind allegiance makes you a pawn.
Boom.
They're all going to die here because of your failed leadership.
Screw you, Crosshair.
Crosshair has always been severe and unyielding. It is his nature. You cannot change that. He cannot change that. Why are you defending me? Understanding you does not mean that I agree with you.
Bars.
I think we got a problem.
Is there always a bigger fish? No.
Storing power should deter the creature. Try to stay alive.
Good plan, AZ. Oh my god. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna bite it right at the elbow. That's gonna do him in, because he knows. He knows. What a smart fish. Oh.
This is what happens when you let a kid call the shots.
That kid saved your life. Unlike the Empire, who left you for dead.
The Empire will control the entire galaxy, and I am going to be a part of it. Being a clone doesn't make you one of them.
I wanted to believe it was the inhibitor chip that made you like this. I was wrong.
The buoyancy of these watertight chambers will bring us to the surface.
We won't have directional control. How do we avoid the debris field out there?
The droid. He can do it.
He's already low powered, though.
I barely fit in this thing. Quit complaining.
Barely fit into anything, Wrecker.
Charge holding up.
I have accessed my reserve power. We must hurry.
It's a great idea, guys. Except a debris field.
I can't say anything.
That is a good thing.
Is it? Aw, and I wanted to sacrifice AZ, and he's doing a good-ish job. Not great.
I have completed my objective.
No! I'm going after AZ!
Omega! It's a droid! Although, if it were R2, or BB-8,
I'm going in.
her music.
I have a visual on the Marauder.
You didn't want to go back anyway.
All gone.
You coming with us?
None of this changes anything.
You offered us a chance, Crosshair. This is yours.
I made my decision.
We want different things, Crosshair. That doesn't mean that we have to be enemies.
I knew she was gonna say something to Crosshair.
What?
Jerk.
Thank you for saving AZ.
Consider us even.
You're still their brother, Crosshair. You're my brother too.
The Empire has big things planned for you.
Oh. Okay, so wow. I don't know how y'all waited a whole week to watch that second part, which come season 2, I'll be watching it with you guys. So I will then feel your pain, I'm sure. So Kamino's gone. It's gone. And that's not good, but like it's good that it's explained why we don't have Kamino in the future. Um, Attack of the Clones is easily my least favorite Star Wars movie out of all of them. Maybe Solo. I wasn't a fan of Solo, but I wasn't not a fan of Solo. It's neither here nor there on that. But I did not particularly like that movie. I didn't like the plot. Obi-Wan is one of my favorite characters, and I hated that he had that side mission. I hated that he had to go to Kamino. I didn't like the Kaminoans. I thought that that movie was stupid. I thought the mission was stupid. I thought the Kaminoans were stupid. I thought it was just a way for George Lucas to create aliens that look like aliens, like how we would picture them, and how to make something completely CG and, look all futuristic because, it's George Lucas. So that's where I've been in my head for probably the last, well, I don't want to say the last 20 years, but I would say that, when Clone Wars came out, and I remember especially Rex and Ahsoka's relationship, like, truly made me fall in love with clones. And when, we're introduced to the Bad Batch in season 7 of Clone Wars, of course I was like, who are these guys? But I thoroughly enjoyed them. And then being that we're, sometimes on Kamino and we're off Kamino, and then we can see how Nala Se is with Omega, it kind of makes me feel sympathy towards the Kaminoans. And it's like now we have clones that we love and adore, and now we have an origin story for Boba Fett, but not only that, but like Omega is his sister. And like it just like how Kamino went from like this stupid little planet that I couldn't stand to like Tatooine, a much bigger picture in the grand scheme of things. Like how they seem like little tiny planets that are useless and worthless, and then boom, they are literally the center of the Star Wars universe. I'm sad about Kamino. The revelation that Crosshair doesn't have his chip. I remember saying several times that whatever they did to his chip, like, I feel like this is Crosshair, this is who Crosshair is. It just, his chip is making it far more enhanced, or to where he isn't being controlled, or he is being overly controlled, but this is who Crosshair is. And then just having the revelation that he doesn't have his chip, and that just really is who Crosshair is, like, that really sucks. That really sucks. I felt like that was the case, but I wouldn't have guessed he didn't have his chip. And Tech had a great line that says, understanding you does not mean that I'm agreeing with you. And I think that that's actually something that should be on a t-shirt, a bumper sticker, on a flag, on the side of a building, written across the sky. That you can understand somebody, but that doesn't mean you have to agree with them. I think that Crosshair showing that he's more loyal to the Empire than he is to his squad. Yes, it might be that he's looking at the bigger picture, but I think that he's maybe idealizing the Empire as a way for him to actually have power. And Hunter reminds him that he's just a number, and that the Empire will never see him as anything more than a clone. I don't really know what I was hoping was going to happen with Crosshair. I mean, I feel like every episode that like Crosshair was in and like he did something to them, like it just aggravated me because, he's just like, oh, I wanted to be with my brothers and we could, rule the galaxy, kind of, that whole flight of fantasy that he had, and it's just he tried killing them several times. Like he's got the scar on the side of his head, proving that like that engine that he tried to blow them up with burnt him, like. And there was a weird moment where they kind of like really focused on that. Hunter did at least. So parts of me thinks that maybe he still has a chip. I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard for me to think that like a brother of them could be so different. But I guess from the first episode, we got him saying, a good soldier follows orders. But he doesn't fit philosophy wise with them. Um, Again, he's loyal to the Empire, not to his squad. Even though he fought with them on the training course and he took out the other troopers that were there, he's semi loyal to them. But like for like this thing that he's envisioned in his head of them being in power because they're a force to be reckoned with, which they are, but you can't take on the whole empire. Omega being the strategic brains behind of most of which went down, I think was fantastic. But it also, because she's childlike and looks like a child and she's smaller and she's innocent, it really made me forget that she is in fact older than the clones, that she witnessed their birth per se. And I think we always forget that and they forget that. But like she has so much knowledge, like so much knowledge of everything about Kamino, about the clones, about like what was in them, what it took to make them. Like I feel like even though the Empire has Nala-Se, I feel like Omega, she's got some knowledge locked up there. She never wanted to go back to Kamino, but she was really sad to see it go, which I thought was really interesting because she literally never wanted to go back there. And I do like that they had the throwback line where Hunter said, I'm sorry, I know you never wanted to come back here. And she's like, you did the same for me. And the fact that they have both done something that maybe they didn't want to do or go somewhere they didn't want to help save the other, I think is such a brotherly, sisterly thing to do. Yes. I think she was really sad about the memories from Nala-Se's lab. She was sad to see like the cloning tanks disappear. She was actually really sad when she realized that Crosshair was Crosshair and it wasn't the chip. She really wanted to believe that he couldn't help it. And maybe there's still a chip in there and he really can't, but I gotta go off of information that I have. And if he says he doesn't have his chip and that's just who he is, and Tech's like, yeah, duh, like he's always been this way, you have to just go with that's the way Crosshair is. So that being said, if the Marauder shows up in the Book of Boba Fett come this week, I'm gonna lose my mind. I will lose my shit. I can't even tell you. If I see any of them walk off of the Marauder, just a pool of freaking tears because they're gonna be old. Like an old, decrepit wrecker. Like, just imagine that. And I also, someone posed the question if Omega would be kind of like a New Zealander. I mean, because they already gave her the accent, so it makes sense. She does have blonde hair. That doesn't mean that somebody from New Zealand can't have blonde hair, but if she is a clone and they all have dark hair and she has blonde hair. Maybe they selected specific, I don't know, genes? I don't know how any of that works. But they're like, we'll make her blonde. Um, I wonder if they're going to get somebody that is like related to Tamora Morrison. I think that'd be nuts. That'd be nuts. I don't even know. I don't know who they get to play her. I know that they wouldn't give us some chump, that's for sure. And it's neither here nor there because we don't know what the hell is going to happen. So, that being said, Gregor is with Sid. So, what's next for the clones? What's next for Sid? What's next for Gregor? Are we getting more Rex? Because Rex seemed to be tied up with something and have something he was dealing with, so he couldn't get to Gregor. So, are we going to figure out what that is? It's like a little side mission. I don't know why, but when I saw him with the hood on, and I think I actually cut it out of my reaction, but I was like, why does he have a hood on? All I could think of was, is he on Tatooine helping Obi-Wan? Like, does he know that that General Kenobi is still around? Are we gonna see him in live action? I don't know. I don't know. Oh God, a young Rex would just make my heart burst right out of my chest. And then there's Nala Se, because we know that there's cloning that's still very much used by the Empire, even after its fall, by the First Order. We've got Snoke that we saw in the tanks, and then, of course, the Emperor. So we know Nala Se is key and essential. And then there's other scientists that we also know from The Mandalorian that are essential for cloning as well. I wonder if all of that's going to come together at some point. Not that everyone that clones together, but you never know. Those who clone together. Um, and let's also talk about the production quality of these last two episodes. They were cinema quality. They were beautiful. The animation in the show never fails to just make me like be blown away. Like I'm just in awe of it. But then like the music and the animation and the coloring and the storytelling and the voice acting, especially in part one, I will tell you that Crosshair actually having more than a couple lines and actually having more dialogue and kind of a little bit of a monologue and the way it was delivered, I just was blown away by the writing of that episode. Piano Man, I think that's the third time I've said your name. You were right. I am thoroughly impressed. I can't wait for season two. I know that like there's a couple other things that are probably going to come out before that. Someone said, or did I read it? I'm not sure. The spring, which is why I wanted to get this done, is because I don't want to be like behind when it comes out. I want to be with you. Um, I so much enjoyed this journey. I so much enjoy these characters. I love them, except for Crosshair. But like I enjoy everything about this show and getting to know these characters and getting little tidbits. We still don't know if Moochie is the one that's with Boba, but like let's hope. Um, there's so much from this show that I think Dave Filoni, oh man, he had corrected so many of the issues that I had with Attack of the Clones or, just the storytelling from the prequels. And I think what he's giving us in Book of Boba Fett with even like Luke and Grogu is like not fixing the sequels, but it's like bridging that gap that there was just like questions. And this is bridging the gap between the prequels and the original trilogy. And and because I know like Rebels like takes place is it right before? It's right before like the rebellion becomes quite the obstacle for the Empire. Because I remember, I can just see it clear as day. As spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Rebels, don't listen to what I'm going to say. But the Obi-Wan Maul scene, and then seeing Luke run across the desert and hearing Aunt Brew. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I will see you guys back here for season 2 of The Bad Batch when it airs. But I will also see you back here for Book of Boba Fett and any other Star Wars that comes out. I still don't know if I'm going to watch Visions, but I'm going to be here for Obi-Wan. I'm going to be here for Ahsoka. I'm going to be here for The Mandalorian. I'm going to be here for anything else they want to throw at me. I'm here. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys.